wondering, because I go back to that email message, you told this man he needs to go to the police station and say all the wrongdoings that he did. And that's what you want. He needs to serve time behind bars. That is what you want as the victim of this situation. So for those that are asking, well, what does she want? It was pretty black and white written in that message, how I saw it.
Exactly. And I mean, for all I knew, we could have walked in there and they would have just looked at me and been like, "Why are you bothering me with this?" I was willing and prepared to have that outcome, but that was really all I asked for.
It's taken me a minute to start this video because I really want to think about what I'm about to say and how to best put it in words. And hope that I can do this with like minimal editing so that it is the most natural way I can say things. The system, the judicial system, is set up to fail victims. In November of 2022, I was doing a live regarding Jared Leisek from AWP Adventures with Purpose. Some news had broke that he had been indicted for 2 child R-ing charges. And as I was doing my live, 2 women came into my chat. One of them is Jessica, and the other one is Hero. And we will continue to identify her as Hero. Here we are in 2024, and there has been some conclusion to what has happened with Jared Lysek's case. Some of us have speculated, some of us have relied on the, information from Reddit. Shout out to the Redditors, the Redditor group that has consistently kept up with the case. And throughout the time, Hero has been attacked consistently in my chats, in my comments, in the videos that I did. On November 2022, these women hit my link and wanted to make sure that people knew what was happening with Jared Lysek's case. And they wanted to let everybody know that there are actual victims from this case. Hero came and followed through with what everything the judicial system told her to do. File the charges, comply with the prosecutor's office, do what you have to do, interviews, repeat the information. More came about this case that a lot of us were not privy to because it was so behind the scenes, right? I gave you guys an update a couple weeks ago that the court was contacted, and we were told that people couldn't speak on the case and that it was sealed and it was settled. That's what we were told. Jared Lysik pled no contest. Apparently, he only had to pay $1,000 fine. Imagine being a victim for 3 years holding on to this. Imagine being Hero for a minute, going through the emotions of this case, not knowing what was going to happen, have it pushed back for time and time again, and then finding out that the person that harmed you only has to pay $1,000 fines and they can seal the case and plead no contest and basically move forward with their life. $1,000. That wasn't what Hero was seeking. There were so many people in the comments that tried to discredit her time and time again. Having the video up there with the interview of both of these women, I had all kinds of comments in my comment section of that video. Some people would praise Hero and Jessica for speaking out. Some people had a lot of questions, like the most basic one that always happens when anytime somebody speaks out. Why didn't they speak out sooner? Why now? 2 questions that always gets asked every time we hear about a victim that is coming forward. Why he or she waited so long? Why he or she is speaking out now? And then it follows with he or she wants money. Hero spoke out and said, I don't want money. None of this brings any real value to me when it comes to money. I want justice. I want him behind bars. That's what I want. And at the end, she didn't get that. He paid $1,000 and he gets to move on. And then there are others that work with AWP, realize the reality of these convictions, what actually happened, and have social media accounts and platforms, and use their social media accounts and platforms to, look for victims, to help families. And now their faces are all over on this AWP social media channel, and they have that association with him, but didn't really understand what those charges were, or were misinformed about Jared Leisek's charges at the time that everything dropped. And they can't get that footage back. You have Josh Cantu currently in this lawsuit. You have others, Sam the Adventure Man, Nick Rinn, so many others that have felt some type of way about how all of this was handled and how they were misinformed or misled by someone that they probably looked up to, that they had good time with, that they trusted. And then this happens. I'm going to read you some comments that were left on my video that is from 2022. I'm pretty sure that some of these people will never apologize for doubting or questioning this victim. Someone said in the comments, Jared was born September 16, 1975. So he was underage also in January 1992. If she goes after his money, then we know why this has come out now. Even though Hero said in the video, I'm not after his money, these people still found themselves inclined to say that.
Somebody said in the comments in that video, you are full of crap, right? And for the longest time while that video was up, I was consistently getting all kinds of comments that were just negative and supportive, Leisek, just negative in general, discrediting the victims, discrediting anything that they had to say, anything. And I was deleting a lot of them and removing them because I didn't want Hero or anybody else involved in the case reading that and having that be something that they consume from that video. I got tired of removing them after a while because it just became so many. I don't know if people were directed to come to the video and just say whatever verbal vomit that they wanted to, but it was really sad because here we are in the middle of this case and there was no outcome yet. But people had already made up their minds about the victims, the statement, and gave an excuse as to why this didn't matter. It was really sad.
Something that I told the victim multiple times in that live stream was, watch out for YouTubers, if you're hitting links because you have an active, case right now and you don't want to say or do anything that is going to destroy the ability for, something to happen, just watch out. That's what I was advising, right?
And then the victim got doxxed. This specific creator was told in the comments that he had doxxed the victim, put out her full name, her address, her social security, her driver's license, all in display on all these documents. And the level of harassment after this creator put out her information was ridiculous. And creators and people were telling him to take down the video. He left it up there for a good 24 hours. He didn't care.
When the victim told the court that she was doxxed, the court responded by letting her know that she should just get LifeLock. That's what you do when people dox you online. You get LifeLock, right? Your whole information's out there. Some of these creators did not give a shit about her. This is why I advised her to be careful who she went with. Myself and a lot of other creators did. I'm going to read a little bit of the post from Reddit, which I think really breaks down the plea, the charges, and everything. Proof of Jared Leisek's plea deal. Utah courts have updated their sites with a little more information coming out. Jared pled no contest to whatever charges he received. He also received $1,000 fine. The electronic notification is just a receipt that the lawyers were sent the file of no real value. And everything, for those that don't know, has been sealed. All of these documents, he was able to seal everything in the court and basically plead down to what looks to be a lesser charge, which is said to be third-degree felony, no contest. The plea was September 18th of 2024. And I want to read a little bit of what this Redditor said. Shout out to this Redditor who says, despite being charged with child rape and having evidence of multiple rapes, multiple molestations victims, and even confessions from Jared wasn't even given a sexual charge for his crimes. The plea deal was watered down to third-degree aggravated assault. Allegedly, the prosecutor took a much weaker deal than the victim agreed to. Who knows why? But it is a very pedophile friendly state. The facts will remain. Jared admitted molestation to detectives and in a roundabout way to the victim in his emails. The emails that people discredited, he admitted it there. He also admitted it to Exploring with Nug. He said he told Exploring with Nug that he had given a statement on that email that was posted on Reddit. He never denied it.
The proof thing is where I'm like, the emails, that's all the proof I needed to be, convinced that this is not fabricated. And on top of that, somebody also said, well, these emails could be fabricated. Somebody could have wrote these. Jared couldn't have, he didn't write these, stuff like that. But Jared has already said that his official statement is the emails back and forth between him and his cousin. I got that text from him because I reached out to him and I was like, hey, I heard what's going on. I want you to know, because this is before I knew anything, and I thought he was my friend. So I told you, I sent him a text. I was like, hey, I heard what's going on, dude. I got your back if you need anything. That was me, my first reaction, because I thought maybe I had a friend getting railroaded. But that's me jumping the gun too fast before I knew what the hell was going on. And that was dumb on my part. But he did write back, very generic message saying, my official statement is what I wrote back and forth with my cousin. That's public on Reddit. So anybody could read these.
That's well said. Again, thank you, Mr. Exploring.
People were prepared to take the stand to say he molested them, 2 to 9 years younger than Jared. Evidence was to be presented that alleged 2 or more rapes on others, not including the 3 witnesses. One of the witnesses who was prepared to testify to the molestation alleged that he started when she was 7. Jared was only 2 years older. So he was allegedly abusing kids for 8 years. Maybe more charges will appear from others. Sadly, money talks in courts, and those who funded Jared, thinking they were helping AWP, have helped elude justice in this case. The biggest win in this case is the public knows about Jared and can keep their kids safe. His revenue has been affected badly, which is the only thing he cares about. Let's be honest. And he is a felon, so can't be pointing guns at anyone again. I want to read one portion here of this document. August 22nd, 2022, another one of the defendant's families detailed to law enforcement that sexual abuse that occurred between the defendant and other cousins, describing that abuse as generational incest, will testify as to that sex abuse. Also, August 22nd, 2022, another family member detailed to law enforcement conversations she had with the defendant wherein he admitted and apologized for his part in the child molestation that took place in the family, and will testify as to that molestation.
The other thing too, and if you can answer, are there other people too potentially that are like victims besides you and the sister?
I think the only reason I feel comfortable saying this is because I've already, unfortunately, in the heat of a moment, already said this in writing somewhere, I believe on Reddit, that yes, there are more of us, but that's their story to tell, and they need to be comfortable with the timing, or if they even decide to go through this. I reached out to a few when I started this process, and they decided to decline.
Absolutely. Jared himself alluded, or even said it in the email, that there was families and together, and there was it was a very like they had a way to deal with it. Why haven't you dealt with it? Type of kind of shift blaming the victim, if that makes sense.
It 100 makes sense because that is the family dynamic. This does go generations back.
Some of you guys in my comments, especially those that support this man and AWP, have said, well, he has found so many families, recovered, so many victims underwater, and has supported families and vehicles and whatnot, and will continue to support this. He is a hero to a certain degree. The victims in this situation, he's a monster. Your heroes can also be monsters. Monsters can also be heroes, and heroes can be monsters. So even though he goes out there and he's searching for people and, helping the communities, he has done harm to people. And if you blindly ignore that, then you're also part of the problem. I will let you guys go. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Sad conclusion to the story. Bye, guys.